Yeah, I can introduce last. So last but certainly not least is Tanvir, and Tanvir himself is also doing a custom project, which he'll introduce now. And he's put in a ton of work the past 3 weeks, and we've had some serious bugs the first week, but he like persevered, and his project is turning out to be really really cool. So Tanvir, if you want to take it away.
Hi, I'm Tanvir. I'm a rising senior at Brooklyn Tech, and the project that I've undertaken at Bootstrap Engineering was to create a custom controller. And uh, the reason why I wanted to start this project was because I had a problem on one of my current game controllers about stick drift, which is due to mechanical degradation over time. And I was thinking to myself how I might resolve it, and that kind of evolved into what if I just tried to make my own controller design? And that's where I got this project. So let me share my screen and show you what I have for the demo video. So I have multiple components, as you can see here. I have two control sticks. The one I'm holding first, the one on the right, is going to be used for mouse movement. And if you click down on the button, it should also click your left mouse. And on the left, we have the WASD control, where if you click down on the button, this will cause you to press space. Typically, WASD is used for game movement. Finally, we have 4 push buttons, which is meant to mimic the arrow keys and going in order from left to right. Each key corresponds to left, down, up, and to the right. So in this example, you can see that I'm going to move my cursor to press insert coin, and then I'll start playing Pac-Man both with the push buttons as well as the movement joystick. Some of the other components I used was the Arduino Micro, and originally I had intended to use an ESP32, but I ran into a lot of problems with Bluetooth connection, and at the midway point, I decided, let me just change it to this other microcontroller, see how that goes. And it actually went pretty well. Unfortunately, the Bluetooth aspect isn't here, so one thing I might focus on later is to try to implement it in another iteration of the circuit. And very soon after this, I'm going to transition to the other tab using the movement stick, using the mouse movement stick. And that one's just to show that the whole thing works if you wanted to like drag your mouse over a certain point while holding it down. One problem that you might notice here is that the cursor itself is moving very, very slowly. This works fine in isolation, but the moment I combined all the code together, because there's so much running at once, it really slows down the whole thing. Yeah, overall, I really enjoyed my time at Bluestamp so far. Uh, I think the best part so far was like getting to just seeing my computer being taken over by my controller and seeing like I'm making remote inputs without even having to touch anything else. So that was cool. Definitely thinking about other mods in the future, probably a gyroscope control so that I can physically move the controller and that'll give out inputs as well. And yeah, I definitely learned that time management is super important, especially when you only have 3 weeks to do something. So yeah, I'm going to improve on that and see how it goes from here. Any questions?
Awesome job, Tanvir.
That's awesome.
Such a cool project.
That's super. Yeah, that's really, really cool. And I just have one question. Do you have any plans of putting it like making like 3D, like designing maybe like a actual controller case for it, or are you gonna kind of leave it as it is or put it in a box or something? Do you have any plans for like a housing component?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd start first to see if I can solder the whole thing together. And then after that, I definitely consider some sort of casing for it so I could get a more ergonomic design.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Awesome job, man.